are coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios. This is Prime News on SABC 3 and the new top stories at this hour.
And he has been appearing on a daily basis on TV, clarifying some of the...
First up, the Limpopo government says that the damage from the ongoing floods is estimated at around 4 billion rand.
When we arrived here, there was a confrontation between the police and the suspects, and there was a shootout.
In KZN, 4 suspects have been fatally shot and 4 others wounded in a shootout with the police in Durban at a property in Woodlands.
Now I'm asking you, and I have to ask you because we've asked General Fani Masemula, we've asked General Kumalo, where is the proof?
And crime intelligence boss Lieutenant General Dumisani Kumalo came under sustained pressure in Parliament today. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on SABC 3. I am your host, Beki Mutumo Mulete. Global events are shifting the landscape, and tonight we take you through the news that matters and the conversation that shapes our future. Let's take a closer look at your leads. The town of Giyani in the Mopani district in Limpopo continues to experience heavy downpours. Parts of the road linking Phalaborwa and Giyani have been flooded. Some community members at Maswangai village were trapped for hours as strong rains fell in the area on Friday morning. A total of 9 people have lost their lives so far since the heavy downpours began.
Rising water levels continue to cause widespread destruction in large parts of Giyani. Motorists and pedestrians have been forced to brave the high waters in order to cross. The road linking Giyani and Phalaborwa is reportedly inaccessible for a stretch of 40 kilometers. Concerned residents say the heavy downpours have unleashed catastrophic scenes.
I'm very scared. I'm very scared. Like this weather, I've never even seen it ever in my life.
Taxi drivers are concerned that they are operating at a loss. This situation is bad. We couldn't even go to work because there is a high volume of water from Phalaborwa to Giyani and from Giyani to Phalaborwa. Sanral is on the ground monitoring the negative impact of the floods on access roads. Meanwhile, a family that was left trapped at their home at Maswanganyi village has been rescued. My house was in water. You would not move in and out of the house. We were frightened that the water would have swept us away. We don't know what we will eat or do. Everything is damaged. I don't have food and there are kids. 9 people have died since the heavy rains started at the Mopani and the Vembe districts. Katlego Nyoni, SABC News, Giyani.
Meanwhile, the Limpopo government says that the damage from the floods is estimated at around 4 billion rand.
If we were to wait for a disaster and you start to say roads give us, it's roads that wants the money. And say Coxter give us, Coxter wants the money for human settlement. Health wants to rebuild the clinic. Education, their schools are damaged, they want to fix. So there's no any other department where you will take this budget from. Hence, from the beginning, we've decided to say on an annual basis, we're going to reinforce, ring fence this 1.2%.
We're trying by all means as the department to always get capable people to do our designs when we construct our roads in the province. So it's just unfortunate now that there is floods, but in most of our roads we make sure that when we appoint capable people, even in-house at the department and also at the road agency in Limpopo, we have capable engineers that are helping with design.
In more related news, Human Settlements Minister Thembi Simelane says that the department is on the ground in both Limpopo and Mpumalanga, assessing structures and is ready to relocate the affected residents. Since last week, heavy downpours have battered the northeastern parts of the country, leaving behind great damage to key infrastructure such as roads, bridges, energy and power supply, water and sanitation, as well as telecommunications networks.
The Human Settlements team are on the ground. We're almost ready. We've done about 1,355 in terms of assessment structures. Of course, we're still expecting a level of about 10%, a warning at 10%, which is the highest, the maximum, between today and Sunday. And the early warning system says will subside around Tuesday. So we're hopeful that the response roads has been the same from the Minister, Public Works and road departments in both provinces have been able to be attentive into the matter.
In terms of how will these communities be getting this necessary help in terms of rebuilding their homes, how will that look like?
Well, we are working jointly through our JOC with the municipalities. Our assessment is not only about the house, it's futuristic, but as I'm saying, Weather Services is able now to indicate that what will be the next weather pattern, even if it's 50 years, 100 years to come. There are people who will have to assist and relocate them from where they have been.
Still on this, the Mpumalanga government is considering declaring a state of disaster following torrential rainfall in parts of the province. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs MEC, Speedy Mashilo, says that the worst affected area, being the Nkomazi local municipality, will require at least 300 million rand for recovery efforts.
A devastating reality for hundreds of families as flood waters tear through communities in Nkomazi. Many residents have lost their homes, while others are left with waterlogged houses, damaged furniture and ruined livelihoods. For Loazi Sibambo, the water has surrounded her house, both inside and out, leaving her with no way to escape the flooding.
Don't even have anything to cook, the house is wet, even the stove, you cannot touch even anything that concerns electricity.
At least 5 municipalities in Mpumalanga have been affected by persisting rains, with authorities concerned that the disaster could spread further as the death toll linked to flooding continue to rise.
The assessment of a year in Nkomazi, they need over 300 million. Which you can say is still raining. It means there's still some other needs that must proceed. And we have not get the assessment coming from the Bushbuck Reach and the other municipalities. After that, municipalities will present it before the Premier and the Cabinet for the Premier to declare a disaster.
But help is on its way.
Today we've brought food hampers, so we've got those disaster hampers for them. We've got blankets, we've got sleeping mattresses, we've got detergent and hygiene for them, as well as baby food.
Residents are urged to avoid flooded roads and bridges and to remain vigilant as more rain is forecasted. Dumela Machoko, SABC News in Nkomazi, Mpumalanga.
Meteorologist Joel Guy has expressed that the heavy rains experienced in parts of South Africa, Mozambique and Zimbabwe over the past few days was due to a tropical low-pressure system. Guy says that the system has started to weaken and result in lower rainfall.
A lot of people have been wondering whether this system that has brought us these heavy rains this time across Zimbabwe, Mozambique and eastern South Africa is a similar system to what caused the flooding across much of southern Africa in 2000. Well, in 2000, we actually had a tropical cyclone. It was a massive tropical cyclone which had a long lifespan. It crossed the Indian Ocean all the way from Australia and only fizzled out when it got to Namibia. That was a proper tropical cyclone. What we are having now is just a low pressure system. I will hazard to say because of global warming, and climate change, we are starting to see all these severe weather incidences becoming more prevalent and also more severe right across the globe. It's not only one part of the globe that is getting affected. So even in Australia right now, we have some floods happening in parts of the country, and we have also seen quite a lot of severe weather going on in South America as well.
After the break, 4 suspected robbers have been killed and 4 wounded in a shootout with police in the Woodlands area south of Durban. We bring you more on this when we return. Welcome back to Prime News on 3. 4 suspected robbers have been killed and 4 wounded in a shootout with police in the Woodlands area south of Durban. Police say that 8 suspects were arrested, including the 4 who were wounded. It is believed that the shootout happened when police were involved in an operation at a property which appeared to be used for residential rental purposes.
We were looking for the suspects who were linked with several cases of business robberies, including the robbery at a jewelry store yesterday in Tongat, when we got a tip-off that the suspects are in this private residence, which doubles up as a rental home. So when we arrived here, there was a confrontation between the police and suspects, and there was a shootout. During that shootout, that's where 4 suspects were shot and fatally wounded, and 7 more were arrested with gunshot injuries. We are looking for at least 5 suspects who narrowly evaded arrest. So far we have recovered 3 firearms. We are still yet to search the house thoroughly. We're going to commit thoroughly for whatever piece of evidence that we can use.
Next up, Crime Intelligence boss Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo came under sustained pressure in Parliament over explosive allegations linking Police Minister Senzo Mchunu, now on special leave, to an alleged criminal cartel. ANC MP Kusela Diko repeatedly challenged Khumalo to produce proof supporting his allegations, particularly that Mchunu ordered the disbandment of the Political Killings Task Team. Khumalo was testifying before the ad hoc committee probing allegations of criminal infiltration, corruption and political interference in the justice system.
Diko wasted no time poking holes in Khumalo's testimony, pressing him to explain how Mchunu was implicated.
And accused Minister Mchunu of being part of this cartel, whether he's an enabler, a facilitator, and you said the reason is because he ordered the disbandment of the PKTT. Now, I'm asking you, and I have to ask you because we've asked General Fani Masemula, we've asked General Khumalo, where is the proof, whether it's your messages or anything that says Minister Mchunu was instructed by Brown Mkhotsi, Matlala, whoever, to disband the PKTT?
In the investigation, there is what we call direct evidence and circumstantial evidence. So if you look at the events as they are happening, and you look also at the communication in terms of the WhatsApp messages, that's what makes one to have those strong suspicions and a belief.
Pressed further, Khumalo considered that investigators have not yet uncovered direct evidence implicating the minister.
I've explained, Honourable Member, there is no direct evidence currently, but then the investigations are still ongoing.
Proceedings will continue from Tuesday, with former Independent Police Investigative Directorate head Robert McBride expected to be the next witness to testify before the ad hoc committee. Mkokeli Bandla, SABC News, Parliament.
We now move on to the following. A suspected illegal miner has been arrested in Brakpan in the East Rand following a multidisciplinary operation led by the Ekurhuleni Metro Police Department. The 23-year-old Malawian national was apprehended while attempting to flee an illegally operated mining facility at the Weltevreden landfill site. The site was shut down last month after the local community raised safety concerns, prompting the city of Ekurhuleni to lead an operation aimed at reclaiming the landfill from illegal miners.
Law enforcement officers effected one arrest under extreme circumstances. Ekurhuleni Metropolitan Police Department officers apprehended a suspected illegal miner amid gunfire.
The purpose of these operations is to ensure that we reclaimed our operational areas. Remember, this is a land refill and it has been it wasn't operating since from December the 16th. Then now we want this land refill center to be operational.
It's alleged that operations at the municipal landfill were halted following reports of intimidation and extortion by illegal miners who had taken control of the site.
As the city, we want to reclaim our space because this is a place where we want to enhance revenue as a city. But due to this illegal mining, we find ourselves wanting. But hence I said earlier, the operations are continuous and it's not going to stop today. It hasn't started today, hence there's the arrest you have seen, you have witnessed that.
The removal of an informal settlement near the landfill site where illegal miners were believed to be hiding has assisted law enforcement efforts. However, residents in the area continue to complain about high levels of crime, including robbery, murder and rape. Balentle Mthethwa, SABC News, Brakpan, Ekurhuleni.
Tensions were running high at Addington Primary School in Durban after violent clashes between foreign nationals and civic organization March and March and the Umkhonto weSizwe Party. The organization March and March claimed that South African children failed to gain admission to the school as the places have been taken up by the children of foreign nationals.
The principal has been refusing to meet us since Tuesday. Today's the first time that he's actually meeting us on a Friday. And we've been trying to talk to him and find out what is going on. I mean, he's got ridiculous numbers of like 600 so children who are foreigners in the school. As you can see for yourself, like the whole community is basically here in broad daylight. They don't work. We don't know what they do here in South Africa. And the government, instead of addressing this issue, will tell us that every child has a right to education. We're here because not every child has a right to education. We've got South African children. The number that we got, 66 of the people that we came with are in need of a place in the school, 66. 40-something of them are people who are displaced from the floods. So those people have no place to go because obviously they've got no home. They didn't choose to be here. It's not their choice.
When we return, the Ugandan Electoral Commission says that President Yoweri Museveni has a strong lead in this week's election. Thank you for staying with us. The Ugandan Electoral Commission says that President Yoweri Museveni has a strong lead in this week's election. The body says Museveni, who has been in office since 1986, has about 76% of the votes, as compared to about 20% for his rival, Bobi Wine. The opposition says that the polls have been marred by mass fraud since they were held under an internet blackout.
Ugandans have expressed their frustration over issues encountered on election day. Some voters say the process was largely peaceful, but they faced delays at a number of polling stations.
The most disappointing part of the process was switching off the internet. Yes, we first of all got communication from the UCC head that we shall not have this disruption. We were a bit happy. We were like, oh, we shall work. Some of us are in this industry where we need internet to function.
It was free and fair apart from some places where the process also ended late.
There were no reports of protests during voting hours, but violence broke out overnight in the town of Butambala, southwest of the capital, Kampala. Opposition leader Bobi Wine, nicknamed the ghetto president, says the polls have been quite challenging.
We are confident that we are winning this election, but also know that the military and all security agencies are up to help the incumbent to rig the election, which we encourage the people of Uganda to resist.
President Museveni wants to extend his rule into a fifth decade. The election has been seen as an acid test for the 81-year-old leader's political strength. Kailihle Khumalo, SABC News, Johannesburg.
It is now time for us to take a look at the day's weather map. Our experts are waiting in the fold with all your details. Your forecast is coming up next.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the weather desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country. We're still talking about that tropical lows that are still causing havoc over Limpopo and Mpumalanga. We're still expecting widespread showers and thunder showers over that low field of Mpumalanga stretching into Limpopo Valley. Scattered as we move towards Gauteng, stretching towards the northwest Free State and the interior of the Eastern Cape. For tomorrow, we see those widespread showers and thunder showers only mainly over Mpumalanga, stretching into the northern interior of KwaZulu-Natal. But Gauteng, Limpopo and also Mpumalanga still expecting those scattered showers and thunder showers for tomorrow. It is quite a clear day tomorrow over Upington, stretching all the way into the mother city where it's becoming cloudy for tomorrow. Looking at those warnings for tonight, we're still expecting up to level 10 warning of disturbed rainfall as we move into Limpopo and Mpumalanga for tonight. We're talking widespread flooding over those areas, so please let's be careful. Becoming a level 9 as we move towards the rest of most of Limpopo, stretching into the central parts of Mpumalanga. Level 6 over most of Mpumalanga for tonight, and also level 2 is moved towards parts of KwaZulu-Natal for tonight. For tomorrow, that level 9 warning expected over Mpumalanga and also Limpopo. The same area we had a level 10 for tonight. For tomorrow, it's just a level 9 and also level 6 over most of Limpopo and also Mpumalanga for tomorrow. Looking at us still concentrating on our warnings, it is still a level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm for tonight and also for tomorrow over the northwest, stretching all the way to Free State and to the interior of the Eastern Cape for tonight and also for tomorrow. So please let's be careful over those areas. Some morning fog patches expected as we move towards KwaZulu-Natal, stretching into that interior of the Eastern Cape. Overnight temperatures, it is going to be a cold night over Calvinia and Sunderland with a low of 10. Cape Town dropping down to 14, 17 over Johannesburg. Durban dropping down to 22. Maximum temperatures for tomorrow, starting off talking about the runaway of air conditions that are expected over the Northern Cape. Temperatures are high. We're talking a high of 34 over Upington, 25 over Sunderland and also over the mother city. It is going to be a hot day as we move towards Bloemfontein with a high of 32, 26 over Bloemfontein, 29 over Musina, Mbombela at a high of 25. Do remember level 9 warning of disturbed rainfall over Mpumalanga and also parts of Limpopo for tomorrow. Durban and a maximum of 27. Warm conditions as we move towards the coast, especially over Kabeja, we're expecting a high of 25. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
That is how we wrap up your news day. Thank you for tuning in. The end of it all, it is the people that matter. From myself, Becky, and the Prime News team, stay ahead and we'll see you next time.